What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Call of Duty, one of the most important things that comes to any of these games is the streaks. Now, of course, way back in the day, the OG Call of Duty games, you didn't worry about streaks. There were none. But once Call of Duty 4 came out, every single year, they always emphasized on the streaks, making them better, more powerful, and more insane. And honestly, it might not be for everybody, but it is indeed a massive selling factor for a lot of people. But as time has gone on, the streaks have gotten crappier and crappier. And I'll be honest, also the variety of streaks, I do want to touch upon this. The variety of streaks isn't too fantastic. I feel like they keep copy and pasting over things time and time again. I mean, it's only so much they could do, especially if they're making modern day games or something of that sort. We got to wait for something that's near futuristic to get something a bit different. But still, just streaks in general have felt so bland recently. Back in the, seriously, think of it. Back in the day, you went from Call of Duty 4, having a UAV, artillery, well, not artillery, sorry, an airstrike, and then, your chopper. And then World at War, you have a UAV, artillery, and then dogs. And you're like, oh my God, the dogs are actually crazy. I love this streak. And then you go from World at War to Modern Warfare 2, where you're dropping freaking nukes, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, an absolutely absurd time. The chopper gunner came out, freaking care packages, emergency drops, predator missiles, all of the above. It was insane, the upgrades that we had between those games. And then, after Modern Warfare 2 came Black Ops 1, which completely innovated the wheel again. And then, obviously Modern Warfare 3, then Black Ops 2, all those games innovated on top of one another and always tried to upgrade the streak category. They always try to one-up it, Like even with Modern Warfare 3, when they were still struggling to try to think of something a little bit more fresh, they added in the specialist category, and they had a support category. Like they still messed around with streaks because they knew the streaks were important. Fast forward to current date, they don't. Like, I feel like the streaks are just like the last thing on their radar when it comes to what they want done in a Call of Duty game. But let's get really deep into why the streaks personally suck nowadays compared to, back in their prime when you could actually destroy lobbies if you, were to go ahead and grind up and get a streak. First and foremost, the second point is a little bit more important, but I do want to throw out this point because I think this does, have a cause to why streaks suck. They die so freaking fast. I mean, over half of the air streaks, if your team is competent enough and they actually, want to shoot them, you can absolutely demolish them. I tell people all the time, stop running the chopper gunners and run AC-130s. They're in the same category before. There are two different categories. You could have a chopper gunner which came before the AC-130. But now they combine them in Modern Warfare 3 to be, 12 kills each or something of that sort, or whatever it is for score. And because of that, you can only pick one. And please, stop using the chopper gunner. Use the gunship. The gunship is nearly impossible to shoot down. I've only had it shot down maybe twice. One out of, good memory, possibly twice, and that's with bad memory kicking in here because I can't remember a second time, but it might have been twice. It's absurd. It takes so many rockets, and obviously small arms are barely even going to be able to, touch it, let alone reach the gunship. That's the way you want to go. But again, it's hard to get. It's hard to get. For a casual player who wants to get something a little bit lower, like a VTOL, attack chopper, something of that sort, again, they're all useless. They die in 5 seconds. Anybody could shoot it down. If your team is competent enough and you have at least 3 people shoot at it, not even with crazy LMGs, and let's not even get into the LMGs. The LMGs, one person can put on the LMG and destroy a VTOL or a chopper gunner before it can even put in work on that individual. It's insane. But even if you have 3 people shooting at it with an SMG, they go down in seconds. It's absolutely useless. A useless streak. Honestly, all I use, like you could see in this gameplay here, is a UAV advanced and the EMP. That's like my main rotation right now because, when I think of assault streaks, I just don't think of a fun time. Even the Swarm. The Swarm is so much fun and it sounds so intimidating. But even that, doesn't put in as much work as I want it to. But that leads us into the main factor on why I personally think the streaks suck. The Swarm sucks because of the fact of spawn protection. Now, I do believe the exclusive Ace put out a video saying that the Swarms, another reason why they suck is because they track onto your current location. So if you move, it doesn't follow you. Once it spots you, it spots that exact spot you're in, and it only goes there. So basically, it's only going to get a frag if someone is standing still. It's kind of weird and lame. But even if that wasn't the case, I think all these streaks suck because of spawn protection. I know it's rough to say because I know over half the people are going to say, well, I hate dying to streaks, and I understand it. You have to understand both sides of the story when it comes to the streaks. It's fun to use them, but to get destroyed by streaks is a whole different story, and it's horrifying. But if you want good streaks in Call of Duty, that is what you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to suck it up and, just get destroyed, get ran through, and hopefully your team will shoot down the streaks as fast as possible. But you're going to have to accept, the reduction of spawn protection. And in return, guess what? When you get your streaks, you can run through your enemies. You see, it's rough because, again, you are going to have to be able to get destroyed to be able to do the destroying. It's the people who are complaining about being destroyed that are the cause of why we have this extremely thick, spawn protection, and the reason why streaks are just basically useless nowadays. I don't even bother using any of my air streaks now, ladies and gentlemen. Attack choppers, VTOLs, chopper gunners, useless. Why would I ever bother with any of this stuff? It gets shot down in 3 seconds because it can't even get 2 bullets off before it's already taken out of the sky. Completely irrelevant. The things that I like to use, or the things that I get worried about when they get called in, are like UAVs when I don't have Ghost on, or, advanced UAVs, EMPs, counters, especially on indoor maps where it's hard to actually see the small counter UAV in the sky. They're an absolute nuisance to the overall gameplay flow. Those are the things that I'm intimidated by. Recon juggernauts. So basically your team has a constant UAV on at all times, especially if the recon jug can position themselves in a good spot. Those are the things that intimidate me because they can't get shot down in 3 seconds. They can actually have a place on the map, a place on the field, and benefit pretty much the team that acquired it. Whereas an airstreak, it doesn't benefit anybody. I don't get intimidated by a VTOL when it comes flying on in. I say, oh, look, an easy takedown. As long as your team is, like I said, competent enough, you can shoot it down. And if your team isn't competent enough, just make a personal LMG class, out of your 10 classes or however many that you can have. Make just one LMG class that's for air, streaks. And once you die, put it on, look up in the sky, take it down real quick. It'll take you no longer than 3 seconds and maybe one life at most that you have to give up in order to get the streak out of the sky. And, it'll save you a tremendous amount of, time, a tremendous amount of deaths to just completely get it out of there. The streaks are useless. And honestly, you want to know something pretty funny? My point about the health of the streaks is kind of irrelevant now. It really is irrelevant. I probably shouldn't have said that, even though I still think that the health should be increased if they keep the spawn protection as it is now. If they keep it like that, then yeah, the health of the streaks have to be increased. But if you really think about it, back in the day, like Modern Warfare 2, 2009, that chopper gunner went down like it was nothing. You could literally shoot it out of the sky instantly. Pretty much all the OG games, you could shoot the streaks out of the sky instantly. But you want to know why it didn't feel like they had low HP? You want to know why it felt like they dominated so much more than what we have nowadays? Because when you shot at something, they died. When you went ahead and, unlocked a chopper gunner in Modern Warfare 2, 2009, you can gun a spawn down. It takes 2 to 3 bullets. You could wallbang people while they're spawning in and kill them in 2 to 3 bullets. It was absurd how easy it was to kill with that thing. But again, it was because people weren't protected. They spawned in and they had to act. If they didn't act, the chopper gun is going to take them down. It is what it is. But because of spawn protection, you don't get that feeling anymore. So yeah, having a lot of HP on streaks is not necessary because it was never necessary in the past. They never had high HP. They were always easy to kill. It's just because of spawn protection. Spawn protection ruins the streaks in these games. And it makes it pointless to want to grind for them. These streaks aren't easy, especially with how skill-based matchmaking is nowadays. I guarantee over half the people who play Call of Duty now don't even have these streaks equipped because, once again, it's pointless. Why would you go through so much effort to try to go ahead and get a chopper gunner if it's going to get gunned down in 3 seconds? Especially if it's hard for you to get choppers and, it's an achievement, it's a goal. Why would you spend your time trying to unlock something like that when you could get like an advance that will serve you 10 times of a better purpose? But ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is that spawn protection is the true reason why streaks are horrible in COD. If spawn protection wasn't there, over half the streaks would actually dominate the lobbies. What they shot at would actually die. But because, people can tank 20 million bullets, they can look up at the sky and take anything down in a blink of an eye. If you guys want streaks to be good, we have to suck up the fact that we're going to have to get destroyed by streaks as well. And the only way that can go about its business is by removing spawn protection. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified for more content just like this. We post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And last but not least, we do stream over on Kick as well daily. And if you guys are interested in any of those streams, I have a link to that channel, as well as all my other socials like Twitter and Discord down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all next one. Peace out.